specifically here in Orange and Ulster counties, I'd like to give an update. Right now, New York State is facing the largest wildfire since 2008. I've been in regular communication with an extraordinary leader we have here in Orange County, our county executive, Newhouse, who unfortunately we've had a lot of experience working on disasters together, and
Yes, ma'am.
your team has always been so integrated with ours, and I'm so grateful for that. Also working closely with County Executive Ulster County, Metzger. I want to share our current response right now. Most of the fires are contained, but we have a couple that still require our immediate attention. Ulster County, the White House fire reached between 600 and 700 acres. Reports are it's contained. We're watching it closely as the winds continue to pick up. But right now, our greatest concern is the Jennings Creek fire here in Orange County. It has spread to over 2,700 acres across the border, 5,000 if you include the acreage across the line with the New Jersey. So 5,000 acre fire, 2,700 acres of which are here in the state of New York. Neither of these fires are controlled or contained at this moment. Some of the residents have been voluntarily evacuated, but I want to emphasize that at this moment, no structures are currently under threat. Last night, we had a very difficult touch and go situation, but I thank God for the teams we had on the ground that created the fire line necessary to protect these individuals' homes. They work so hard. It's a beautiful community, and I cannot imagine the level of stress that the residents of this great area of our state are going through right now. We've mounted a comprehensive state response since Friday. DEC forest rangers are leading the firefighting effort supported by New York State park rangers. As I mentioned the park rangers, I have to mention something that just breaks my heart to have to say. We did lose an 18-year-old, a brand new young man who just had his whole life ahead of him. Dario Vasquez lost his life while trying to protect the lives of others. And we've extended our condolences to his family, but I'm sure that's a wound that'll take forever to heal. Reminds us of the dangerous work that these individuals do. When you look at the videos of the fires taken at close range on cell phones, it is frightening to see what individuals, and many are professionals, but also many are volunteer firefighters who've come from over 47 companies across the state of New York. I just saw some from East Hampton down the road, trying to support their brothers and sisters in uniform as we deal with these difficult challenges. I also want to talk about our response right now. State police helicopters are doing water drops and drone surveillance. I witnessed that as I came in on a helicopter a short time ago. Right now we have 2 National Guard Black Hawk helicopters. We have been requested by the county executive to continue our efforts to drop the water, which is so essential. We're bringing in Chinook helicopters, which has greater capacity. We just have to rotate the teams in and out, but we are there till the end. We also have state fire and emergency management coordination, doing an amazing job. DOT heavy equipment is here, as well as I mentioned the local fire departments. We have over 377 heroes, people who left their security of their homes that are on the ground, and 66 of whom are state workers. And again, I've done a lot with our volunteer fire companies over the last couple months, just going out there, talking about how we're trying to invest in their training, trying to encourage more people to join the ranks. It is a family. And when something like this happens, the way they pull together and do everything from feed each other, look out for each other, whether they're in the station hearing their most recent directions and commands, or whether they're out there in a forest that is scorching with fire, hard to breathe. I am so in awe of all of them, and as the governor of this great state, I am forever grateful to all of them. The conditions we're facing are still pretty dire. This is one of the driest Octobers we've had on record. This has been a challenge for us because normally starting in September you see a lot more rainfall, the ground is saturated, and something like this would not have taken hold. We have not received enough rain. We had a little bit of rain over the last 48 hours, but not enough to extinguish the fires, and unfortunately there's no significant rainfall predicted in the immediate forecast. We're actually currently under a drought watch, level 2 of 5 on our drought scale. This requires water conservation, asking all New Yorkers to participate, but not a cause for panic. But it's absolutely critical that New Yorkers avoid any outdoor burning at this time. we've announcing today a statewide burn ban because the threats are too great, and we cannot have our resources directed to smaller fires. We need everybody, all hands on deck, on the major scale fires we have right here. So I'm asking everyone to comply with this until further notice. What that means is completely avoid outdoor burning. Don't leave any campfires, which you should not have campfires in the first place. So don't leave them attended, but don't have them. Exercise extreme caution with outdoor grills and report fires immediately. And again, as I said, start conserving water. Stay alert and monitor your local forecasts and law enforcement alerts. And we're hoping that cooler temperatures and higher humidity will help, but here we are. We'd love to have no wind. The winds are going to reach 25 miles an hour today. And that is just going to create turmoil, chaos, and a lot of uncertainty that we don't need right now. Now we're expecting that traditional weather conditions that we expect this time of year and through the winter should provide some relief from the drought, but we don't know how long this will last. This could be an atypical winter. So again, the conservation efforts we're asking everyone to undertake should continue for months. Again, I want to thank our first responders. I come here in person through floods and tornadoes, and unbelievably this same neighborhood that was affected with the fire had a tornado just this past year. And I want to thank all of them for stepping up and being there as we protect New Yorkers' homes and their lives. It's our #1 priority is keeping New Yorkers safe. With that, I'd like to introduce my incredible partner in government, County Executive Steve Newhouse. But I want to I forgot to acknowledge all the individuals here. When the noise stops, I want to acknowledge we have the mayor of Greenwood Lake here, also the supervisor, that's Thomas Howley, Supervisor Jesse Dwyer from Warwick. I want to thank him. This is one of the largest communities in the state of New York. It's important that we have strong leadership. He's brand new on the job, but he's doing a fantastic job. Commissioner Jackie Bray, the head of Dishes, our Department of Homeland Security. Randy Simon, our interim Commissioner of Parks. Major General Ray Shields of the National Guard. Major Michael Sunwick, Troop F Commander. Brian Gallagher, the New York State DEC Forest Ranger. He's on our Incident Command Commander. I want to thank Brian Gallagher. Brian, where are you? Right, Brian, I'm so impressed with what you're doing, your command of knowledge, the way you've been directing these operations. I feel we are much safer because we've had you guiding our efforts here, and I want to thank you for that. Let's give him a round of applause. Brian Gallagher. Assembly Member Carl Bravenek here. I want to thank our Assembly Member for joining us as well. And again, I want to list all the agencies. When you talk about a whole of government approach to solving problems, this is it. DEC, Homeland Security, State Police, Parks, DMNA, and our Department of Transportation, all on hand and sending all the resources. We will not leave this crisis until we feel comfortable that everyone and every property is safe. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce County Executive Steve Newhouse.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much. It's great to have the governor here. We have a wonderful relationship. We work very closely. Jackie Bray, her and I work probably on a daily basis. The county's been supporting the state. Brian has been the incident commander. We kind of came involved even heavier starting Saturday in the afternoon. Sunday was probably one of the most difficult situations I've never seen with the fire. The average volunteer firefighter working along with our law enforcement and the park rangers literally saved that whole Cliff Road area. The residents were wonderful. This would not be successful without the town supervisor, Jesse Dwyer, and the mayor, Tom Howley of Greenwood Lake, and their whole teams marrying with mine to make it happen. We obviously had that tragic death of Mr. Vasquez on Saturday night. Our county was able to bring in the sheriff's office, grief counselors, along with our other mental health, our medical examiner's office, working with those teams to not only take care of Mr. Vasquez, but to also take care of his teammates. It is an emotional drain on our men and women that are on the front lines here, and it is inherently dangerous work. We are making grounds, and we're making headway with people on foot, with being supported by UAV operations, and thankfully General Shields, my good friend, is here, and those aviation assets are critical to our success here. We can't get to some of these places. We can't get bulldozers, excavators, and other heavy equipment to these areas, so we're depending on our men and women on foot, as well as our support from those air operations. So we would not be able to do it, again, without working like a team. Many of the people, I'm super proud of my emergency management team. They're ex-cops, fire, military. We do this on a regular basis, and we're happy that we're actually making some headway. You have to be there in person to see it. That's what the governor's doing with true leadership, by showing up here, seeing exactly what we're dealing with here, and giving us a resource. So, Governor, I'm happy to have you here. I'm going to turn it over to Jackie Bray, my friend, the commissioner.
Thanks so much, County Executive. Thank you, Governor, as always, for showing up. It makes such a big difference. This has been a historically dry fall. In fact, we had the driest October in New York City and in parts of the Hudson Valley that we've ever had in New York, of course, followed from a historically wet summer. We did receive some rain over the last 48 hours, less than half an inch. It just wasn't enough to extinguish the flames. It wasn't enough to take us out of the drought that we're in. So I want to say the National Weather Service has issued red flag warnings for the following locations. So this is New York City, Hudson Valley, Capital Region, all of Long Island, Montgomery. These are counties: Montgomery, Schenectady, Albany, Rensselaer, Schoharie, Greene, Delaware, Columbia, Ulster, Sullivan, Dutchess, Orange, Putnam, Rockland, Westchester, all of New York City, and all of Long Island. What a red flag warning means to us is that the threat of fire increases. When you have a fire like this one, it means that the threat that the fire could spread increases on a red flag day. It means that temperatures are higher than normal. It means that humidity is lower than normal, and it means that the winds are going to be a factor, which is certainly what we're seeing, what we really saw Friday night into Saturday, and what we expect to see more of today. We've got wind gusts in the area of about 35 miles an hour today. Our temperatures are in the 40s to 50s. That is high for this time of year in this area, and our humidity could dip as low as 35. I want to give New Yorkers directly some safety tips. Number one, as the governor said, she announced a full burn ban in New York State beginning immediately, which means completely avoid outdoor burning. You exercise extreme caution around grills. In New York City, the mayor has suspended the use, has banned the use of any grills in the parks down there. Report fires immediately to local authorities. And some things, as the drought continues to conserve water, do your loads of laundry when the laundry is full, right? Don't do half a load. Wait until your dishwasher is full to run it. These things will really make a difference. Put off washing your car, put off watering the lawn, take shorter showers, turn off the faucets when we're brushing our teeth. We know how to do some of these things. I also just want to give a little bit more depth on the burn ban. So while outside of New York City, barbecue grills, maple sugar arches, that sort of outdoor cooking advice, this does not apply to those, but obviously we need New Yorkers to be careful with those. Campfires that are less than 3 feet in height are permitted, but we need you to have whatever you need to put that fire out immediately on hand, whether that's a fire blanket, sufficient water, that type of stuff. The on-site burning of agriculture waste continues to be permitted. The regular fire training and that type of stuff continues to be permitted. We will not be taking this restriction lightly, and we will be out enforcing the burn ban across the state. To give a little bit of context, the governor gave some. On an average year in New York State, we have about 1,400 of acres that burn. In the last 3 days, this fire alone has burnt 2,700 acres, and just a second fire has burnt 700 acres. And so we are well above normal. And with that, I'll just thank the first responders. Appreciate everyone, and then questions, right?
All right, we're going to do on-topic questions only. If anybody has one. Yes, right there in the back, Weather Channel.
Governor Justin Michael, Weather Channel. I understand climate change is a change in the extremes. Hots are hotter, colds get colder, droughts last longer. What can the state do now, or is it doing now, and looking down into the future? What can the state be doing, a whole government approach, to combat those extremes?
Well, part of it is making sure that our local county governments that are on the front lines of these wars have the resources they need. So we've been directly partnering with them to make sure that we're identifying the vulnerable spots, how we can help build resiliency. For example, on Long Island, we had a 1,000-year flooding event. Well, when we rebuild in Highland Falls that was devastated here in the Hudson Valley, 1,000-year flooding events. You know, we make sure we're not building back to the way it was. We're giving them the money for infrastructure to build the roads higher. And when you rebuild a home, you build the home higher if you're on a creek bed. So, and strengthening the culverts that have been compromised. And so it's all about, much of it is infrastructure. And those are high costs for local governments. That's why the state is stepping up to assist, as well as emergency preparedness, constant training from the state with our local government partners so they're aware of the latest technologies and ideas that we have to protect people once the event starts. So we are looking at it from every aspect, preventative, but also during the crisis, how you manage it. Again, a few years ago, we would not be employing drone technology to show us the hot spots that we can respond to, get the helicopters with the water there, start dropping before and saturating the land around it before the fire can spread. So we're taking advantage of all technologies as well and training. So if there's other ideas, we're always open to them. We want to make sure that New York State is first in the nation in terms of protecting our citizens. Again, the neighborhood we just left saw the fire. That had been hit by a tornado not long ago. Think about that, a tornado and a fire. Hurricanes have come here, massive flooding. Now we have droughts, record snow. New York State had the highest snowfall just a couple of years ago, 7 feet of snow where I come from in Buffalo. So I know about weather, but you don't know what to expect, so you prepare for the worst and hope for the best always.
Back here, yeah.
I know that exhaustion in terms of our first responders could be a concern here. This has gone on for so many days. You've thankfully given us a lot of resources here in Orange County, but can you talk a little bit about that, about how exhaustion might be coming into play right now?
That's very true for our leadership team, but also those who are actually out there in harm's way. That's why we have 12-hour shifts. And I'm so grateful that we have fire companies from all over the state of New York that are rotating in to give them a break. Because you want to make sure you're at your best when you're out there, so your mind is sharp, you can make the decisions in a split second, because it could be a matter of life or death. So we're well aware of the dangers of exhaustion, and that's why we have a respite area, we have places that people can recharge, get some food, take a break, and have someone else go in their place for the duration of a shift. So is there anything else to add to that?
Yeah. The governor activated the Fire Operations Center over the weekend. The Fire Operations Center coordinates mutual aid centrally, and so it's the state's responsible for making sure that there are fire companies from around the state that are showing up. And that's been very successful over the last couple days, and we'll keep pulling. If we've got to pull from Niagara, we'll pull from Niagara to make sure that they've got the resources here.
There in the back, there in the back. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Governor.
Hi.
We were with Daryl Vasquez's family yesterday. He's graduating high school.
Yeah.
He's studying as a forest ranger. Can you talk about the training that is involved for your forest rangers to put them into these situations to try to put out this fire?
And again,
I can speak to that.
broken hearts for this family, and I cannot imagine, as the mother of a son and daughter too, you lose a child after you get them through high school and they're on the cusp of starting their career. It is devastating. So you want to speak to the training?
Yeah, I could speak to the training. Our basic wildland firefighters get what we call the basic wildland fire suppression course. And in that course, we also talk about fire behavior. And in fire behavior, we got 3 things that will affect it. It's basically the weather, its topography, and fuels. That class is 40 hours long. It's 32 hours in a classroom setting, and then a full day of working operations, learning the hand tools, learning how to pump water, and more importantly, identifying all the risks that are out there and how to mitigate those risks so we keep ourselves in a dangerous situation as safe as we can while still protecting lives and property.
Daryl had that training?
I will have to go to Parks on that.
Yeah, Commissioner.
Yeah, my name is Brian Gallagher. I'm a state forest ranger with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation.
Randy Simon, State Parks Commissioner. Daryl was a park aide. He was clearing brush, flammable materials, creating the fire line. He wasn't out there fighting the fire per se. but he's creating the fire line to prep to start to delineate the line to protect the communities around them. And no matter what the job is out there, these are dangerous jobs. And Daryl was as committed and courageous as the men and women out there on the fire line today, those in the command center. And truly our hearts are out to his family. And I just want to thank County Exec for the peer counseling services that you provided our staff, and our Parks peer counseling services were also in the car within hours to meet with the teams who are still dealing with this tragedy themselves.
Was this an accident, someone cutting a tree, and the tree accidentally fell on Mr. Vasquez?
It's still under investigation, so we're looking at all the circumstances. So we don't have all the details just yet, but we're drilling in as deeply as we can on this one.
All right, Gannett over here, last one.
Alexandra Rivera with Journal News, Moped. You mentioned about high winds today. We are about 18 to 20 miles away from Rockland County. How concerned are you about the spread of the fire to Rockland County or to any of the other surrounding counties?
Well, this is constantly being monitored by air surveillance. I just came from the command center where they have all kinds of monitors, large screens, and on the computers to identify the wind shifts, the vulnerable communities. Much of this area is remote, and it's hard to access by vehicles, but also there's not homes or property there. So that's important as well to know that the larger population areas are not in danger from this. But Commissioner, can you talk about the weather?
Brian,
You want to talk about
Yeah, so right now, with this particular fire that we have really strong winds out of the northwest right now. So this fire is going to move to the north, to the southeast, right? The community of Tuxedo right now, we have some black fairly close to it. And that's where we have a glut of resources right now, monitoring to make sure that the fire is inside the control lines that we established 2 days ago. And they'll stay there until these high winds events dissipate, which will be tomorrow. And tomorrow, it's just a matter of patrolling those same areas to make sure those communities have a presence with law enforcement as well as fire resources.
All right.
All right, last one, Univision back here. That's really last one.
How the state is going to help the family of Mr. Vasquez?
We are just heartbroken by this, and I would ask our Parks Commissioner to talk about the services that are available for the families. Obviously, first of all kinds of counseling is available to support him, but we'll look at what our state assets are and what we're able to do in a circumstance when there's a loss of life on the job, and certainly we'll be making sure that family is well taken care of. Again, just sadness. We're just filled with sadness, and I look forward to speaking to the family. I've tried, but they've been preoccupied. So,
Thanks, everybody.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody.